Guys, it's Guillermo Auto. I'm in a 2010 Chrysler 300, and I got a code P050D, cold start rough idle. Basically, I was gonna smog this car and had check engine light on, so that's the code that I pulled. If you're in a rush, long story short, I replaced the battery and cleaned the throttle plate. That's what I did. If you want to hang out for a minute, I can explain everything about the code and why. So basically, the code, like I said, is a cold start rough idle. According to ALLDATA, the possible causes are restricted air intake system, a low battery voltage, fuel contamination, or a bad PCM. Further down here, it has a note that says low battery voltage can cause excessive current draw in very hot or cold ambient temperatures. Make sure that the battery can pass a load test before continuing. So right off the bat, I noticed my negative battery terminal had a bunch of corrosion on it. I did a regular battery test on the battery. It says it was good, but it needed a recharge. And then I did a load test on it with a VAT45, and it failed the load test. So right there, I was like, all right, this is a good place to start. So I replaced the battery. I also checked the throttle plate for carbon buildup, contamination. This car is over 120,000 miles on it. So when I went and saw it, it was pretty, it was pretty dirty. So I cleaned it. You know, it's not that hard to do. And also, it says check the air intake system for restriction. So if your air filter is really stuffed up, or if there's like something in the air tube, which there shouldn't be anything in there, but you never know. On this ALLDATA information as well, it says that you know, to check the wiring to the PCM, maybe like a rat got to some wires over there, so you check that. But long story short, I didn't check my fuel because I mean, like I said, I just found those other problems. I cleared the code, or I guess when I replaced the battery, it cleared the code. Drove it, all the monitors have ran. I smogged it, passed smog. So that was in the set condition for this code, which means what set this code or what sets this code. Based on the description, it says the PCM detects the engine speed is 50 RPM or more below the target idle speed for more than 3 seconds. 2-trip fault, and that will turn on the mill. So basically, to put that simply, the car has been started twice, and the RPM was below the target idle speed. So basically, the car gets started, the PCM or the computer expects to see the engine RPM at a certain level, but it's been below that, and so it says, okay, something's causing it to be below that. I'm setting the check engine light, and basically in my situation or my scenario, I expect, since I had a bad battery or a weak battery, a bad battery, that the car started. It's June here in Sacramento. We've had a couple of cold days, I don't know why, but probably on those 2 cold mornings, started it just kind of started up a little slow, a little rough, because the battery's bad and it's cold. And that pretty much is enough to set the code. You know, nothing, no crazy diag needed. But anyways, so just want to let you know what sets the code. And also, it says when monitored is during a cold start condition, with the difference between the ambient air temperature and the engine coolant temperature below 10 degrees Celsius and the engine running at idle. So that's basically when you start up in a... Okay, so here's my battery corrosion on my negative side. Enough to maybe, you know, cause a voltage amperage problem. Also, my tester says it's good battery, but it needs a recharge. So then I tested with my load tester to be sure, as the paper told me so. And then it failed. It's right here's my VAT45. It says battery's bad, and this actually does like a heavy load test, not just like a quick continuity test on the battery. So yeah, I did that. So I replaced the battery, and then I took this air boot off, just flathead, loosen them on each side, and then take the sensor off. Basically, to disconnect the connector, push this red lock up and then push the black button. And don't take the sensor off, I'm sorry, just take the sensor connector off. And then here's my picture of my throttle plate. You can see the black around its carbon buildup. I needed to clean that out, so I gently opened it with the key out of the ignition, make sure no power is running, gently open it up, and then just get a rag and clean all in there on the plate itself and all around on this in the cylinder. Be very gentle, it's an electric motor. And then I put it all back together, and that was it, guys.